bald beauty queen. And honey's out there, she most certainly is. And it is with great pleasure that I introduce this phenomenal woman to you, Sandra. Hello. Oh, there we are. Sandra, you there?
I am right here. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, we can. And we can see you too. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. Thank you so much for having me as a guest on Breaking Free. I'm really looking forward to talking to you tonight.
Well, it's really a pleasure to have you here.
Absolutely.
So, talk to us about, and tell me if I'm pronouncing it correctly, alopecia.
Alopecia.
Alopecia. All
Yes,
right.
alopecia areata.
All right. So, talk to
And
us
it's
about that. And a lot
okay.
of, and you know what's interesting is I've told a lot of people about this, and a lot of people have heard about it and heard
Yeah.
about you. So,
Good. 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 Then it's working. That's my goal to really bring awareness. It's an autoimmune disease, and basically, it's something that just takes away your hair. It's cosmetic. It's not something that makes you sick. But of course, for anyone, whether you're a man or a woman, losing your hair at any stage of your life can be very devastating to your self-esteem. Of course, we identify so much of ourselves with our hair and our external attributes. So it was something that started for me when I was 25 years old. And basically, there's different forms of the disease where, the most common is alopecia areata. And that's the one that nearly 5 million people in the United States alone have that particular condition. And it causes little patches of bald spots. But there's more extreme cases, and I have the most rarest form, which is alopecia universalis. Universal, meaning that it's all over your body. And so, starting at 25, within a few years from then, I had lost all of the hair on my body, and that's including eyelashes, eyebrows, etc. So, that's really what the disease is about. And unfortunately, there's no cure for it. But and everybody's story is different. Most people won't develop it to the extreme that I have, but it is something that people kind of have to manage throughout their lives.
mhm. So when up to 25, you had hair,
Oh yeah, absolutely. I
mm.
had cute hair. I
Cute
was
hair.
really rocking my little short style too. I miss
Uh-huh.
my hair.
And so this is autoimmune.
It's an autoimmune disease. So it's something that there's no real rhyme or reason for. You're genetically predisposed to it. Could be in your family. And for there's over 100 different autoimmune diseases. So, if it's something that's in your family, it could show up as anything for you. So, for example, my father had lupus. My mom has hyperthyroidism. And those are all autoimmune issues. And so for me, when I was 25, it showed up as a breakout of alopecia.
Mhm. And is so it's not just for women; it's men and women,
Oh, absolutely. It's children. It's
children.
all race. There really is no rhyme or reason because we've seen little, 1-year-olds that have lost all of the hair on their body. They say it could be as a result of stress or trauma in your life. Those are some of the things that could trigger an outbreak. And so everybody's story is different as to what started it. So there are no definitive answers when it comes to alopecia or any autoimmune disease for that matter.
Right. Yeah, I had rheumatoid arthritis as a child.
Wow, okay.
Yeah,
So
from
you understand.
yeah. From I had it at 10 months old, and then I had it again at 7, and then bouts throughout my life, and it kind of now it's living in my eyes. But
Wow.
yeah, but I guess we learn to live with things. So do we have a question? Do we have somebody calling in? Okay. Did you? Hello? Is somebody there? I want to just offer an invitation to everybody who's listening to please feel free to call in anytime, 919-518-9773. If you have a question for, Sandra, about anything during this night, and me as well, please feel free to call in. And if for some reason we don't pick up right away, just be patient and call back again. So when I said to you, a lot of people know about this, and you said, good, that's what you want. So
Yeah.
tell me, what is it that you want?
I want people to know about when you see someone who's bald, whether it's a man, woman, or child, a lot of times people think, well, a lot of people think about me that it's a style that I chose to shave my hair off bald, just for funsies. which is fine, but that's not my story. Or a lot of times they think that you have cancer and it's a result of chemotherapy. And so it's important that there is a level of awareness that people know that there are different types of diseases out there that people are dealing with. And especially for me, when I developed alopecia, I had never heard of it. So to go to the doctor and to get that type of diagnosis was pretty devastating, to have a disease you've never even heard of before. And so it was a big, important push for me to bring awareness, because there's so many people that are suffering with hair loss conditions, and they are too afraid, they are too embarrassed to go to the doctor to get help, to ask those questions, and they're just hiding. And so I want to really be able to bring this information out to the public so it's more common, and it makes it easier for people to be able to go outside and feel like there are people that really understand what their condition is, and not like, freak out like, oh, I'm so sorry you have cancer, or it's so many different things, and everybody doesn't want to have to explain what's going on. So the more people are aware, the more compassion that we can have for one another. Knowledge is power.
Absolutely. So,
Yeah.
so people might say to somebody when they see somebody without hair like you, "Oh, you have cancer," or something like
Okay.
that. What should somebody, or what could somebody say? Should they say anything, nothing, acknowledge it, what?
You know what? I think it's really about chemistry. You know, everybody's in a different place with their experience. And so if you come to me and you say, I was just in Walmart shopping, and I thought it was really interesting. And I know that I'm usually very friendly with everyone. So I know this person probably felt very comfortable, like I was approachable. But as I was checking out, she just said, "Oh, so you have cancer?" And I just said, "No, I don't have cancer." And I was okay to say, what I do have is alopecia. You know what I mean? But everybody's not really comfortable to have that conversation. So, it really, you kind of, based on your chemistry with that people, with that person, you could really, ask them. You don't just assume. That's number one. Don't just assume that you know. So you might want to ask. Don't just even assume, oh, why did you shave your hair off bald? Because I've had people say that to me too. And I'm like, dude, I did not shave my hair off bald. Thank you very
Right,
much. But no, I
right.
didn't. So you can, there's a way that you ask, and you use your discretion, but there's always etiquette, and you always think, what if I were that person? How would I want to be approached? Am I asking just to be nosy, or am I asking because I'm sincerely curious and I want to learn, or I'm concerned? You know what I mean?
Sure. And Chris on our chat, she's wondering if you have to take medication.
Yeah, no, I don't. There is no cure for it. So, when the hair first started to fall out, there are treatments that they can offer people that have like alopecia areata. There's cortisone injections. I did that. I've been through those treatments to try to stimulate hair growth. There are top
Whoops. Whoops. All right.
with those treatments.
Okay.
Unfortunately for me, um, those things didn't work for me.
Have they worked for other people?
Oh,
They
absolutely.
do.
Absolutely. And but the thing about it, again, there's no cure. So, for example, if you have some bald patches, you get these treatments, and it stimulates hair growth in that area. It cannot stop you from developing a new patch of baldness in another place, or even if the disease goes into remission for years and your hair grows back, it's like a memory. Oh, that was a long time ago. It can happen again at another time in your life where you'll have another outbreak. So it's just something that you have to manage. So, the stories vary. Some people will say, oh, I had that when I was a kid, it never happened again. And some people say, every few years, I go through this, experience and I lose my hair or what have you. So, it's a case by case basis.
So do you wear a wig
Sometimes
sometimes?
I do. Wigs for me particularly are itchy and annoying and hot. And I have a very small head, so they don't always fit very well. So, but I do, you could totally find me in Walmart with Mr. Rollback with a wig on any given Saturday.
Uh, It's great. I love commonizing, I guess. I don't know if that's not a word, but part of what I love about doing the show is being able to take certain things and making them common.
Right.
Not that we shouldn't, I don't know, should I feel sorry for you? I know that sounds crazy, but, you know, I mean, when you see somebody with cancer,
Right.
you feel sorry for somebody, or somebody that's ill. But then again, there are certain things that you're not sick, right?
She's frozen and we lost her.
Okay, well, hopefully she will come back, I know. Sandra will be back. She's a determined woman. I think one of the important things with a lot of issues today is making them commonplace, so people do understand, so they don't stick out like a sore thumb. So it's not something that people are uncomfortable with. Yes, I'm here, and this is her. Oh, she said, that's not her? Okay. Anyway, making them comfortable, making people comfortable with people who might look different than we look. And there's a freedom for all of us. It's not just freedom for Sandra. It's freedom for all of us, that when we are in somebody's company, that we're free to talk about it. Just, we're free to ask questions. I actually had the pleasure of having lunch today with a woman that I know very well, whose little boy had cancer. And he's now 3 years old, and he was 18 months old, 14 months old when he was diagnosed. And I haven't seen him in several years. And we had lunch today, and he was a delightful little boy. And but there were some things that I was curious about, and it's kind of like the elephant in the room. You kind of, in some ways, want to talk about something. You just want to know things are okay, or how are things. And I think when you come from your heart, it's like what Sandra was saying. When there's an intimacy, or when you create an intimacy with someone, and you come from your heart, you can ask those questions in a loving, kind way. Because the hope is that you're going to take that information, and you're going to do something good with it. Okay. Are we back?
Yeah.
Hey
Are
there.
we back on?
Yes, we are. What I was asking, and kind of went off into a little tangent, was you're not sick, right?
No, I can't hear you that well.
Okay.
Can you?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. It's
Okay.
a little bit low, but I can hear you. I apologize for that.
No, that it happens. But
Yeah.
at least we got you back, and we knew you would come back.
Absolutely.
So what I was saying was, we kind of like, and I think on some level this is what your message is, you want to make things more comfortable, common, so that people are not shocked when they see somebody without hair, and they can feel comfortable in even asking somebody questions about it, so that the more educated we all are, the more comfortable we are with you or somebody else.
Absolutely.
And I was saying today I had lunch with a woman I haven't seen in a long time, who has a 3-year-old little boy who was diagnosed with a form of cancer at 14 months old. And I had seen him a couple of times during that period of time, and I haven't seen him since. So today we went out for lunch, and there were some questions that I wanted to ask. But
Right.
I was asking them because I cared.
Right.
And it came through. And that's what you were talking about with this intimacy.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's treat people as you would want to be treated, recognizing that it is a sensitive issue for a lot of people, and so, it's your intention. It all comes back to your intention. And so if you just want to know because you want to be aware, then that's fine, but just always is an etiquette. There's a way to do things, because like I said, a big part of the experience of losing your hair, depending on where you're at in that experience, sometimes you feel so very, very insecure, and you don't want to talk about it. You don't want people to mention it to you and ask you questions, because you just want to blend in. You don't want to call attention to it. So you really have to kind of read that person's energy, I would say, and just be mindful of your intention of why are you asking, because you wouldn't want somebody to come up and ask you questions about your personal life, your illness or what have you, if that were you, if you didn't know that person.
Absolutely.
So I think it's the way that you do things. It's not what you say, sometimes it's how you say it,
Right.
your energy.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, you said something about feeling sorry, and I wanted to touch on that. And, that's, I think for anyone who experiences any kind of illness, the worst thing that anybody wants is for them to feel sorry for them. It's like, please don't pity me. I don't need anybody's pity, so don't feel sorry for me, because everybody's going to have their challenges in life. So no matter what that is, if my challenge is alopecia, somebody else is going through something else. And it's all a lesson. It's all a growth opportunity for us to learn from these experiences. So I don't have any reason for anybody to feel sorry for me, because I've gained so much as a result of having this experience. So,
Sandra, how
Yeah.
old are you?
I'm sorry,
How old are you?
I'm 38.
38. Okay. All right. Chris on our chat, she says, I think Sandra's message is larger than that. She speaks to a people what beauty is and where it begins from inside.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's what it's really, really all about. Who you are as a person, your inner beauty, because you can be physically beautiful on the outside, but if you've got an ugly spirit, if you've got an ugly attitude, those are the things that people are going to see, and vice versa. If you may not be the most physically appealing, but if you're a great person and you're loving and you're kind and you're yummy and wonderful inside, all of that stuff is going to shine through, and people are going to love you, because that's the essence of who you are. And that's a message for anybody, whether your issue is hair loss or weight or no issue at all. We are hard on ourselves, in terms of our perception of beauty and our standards, and we want to, look like what we see on television, et cetera, et cetera. And we don't show ourselves enough love. But it's really about getting to the essence of who we are, which is, our inner beauty. That's the thing that's the most important part of beauty for everybody.
Sure. So did you say we didn't show ourselves enough?
I'm sorry?
What did you say? Did you say we don't show ourselves enough? What did you say?
We don't love ourselves.
We don't love ourselves enough. Right.
We don't love ourselves enough.
Right. Right.
Show
Right.
ourselves enough love in that way. We beat up on ourselves a lot of times, especially as women. So judgmental. We have all these issues about, I'm too fat, I'm too this, I'm too skinny, all of these different things and ways that we don't measure up to this ideal, this standard that we want to be. And we spend too much energy doing that, as opposed to turning that around and showing ourselves some love and really accepting our own unique beauty, and really embracing the best parts of ourselves.
Yeah, that is so well said. And before I go on, because I want to talk more, but Sandra, let's see, hi Sandra from Cynthia Wade.
Hey, Cynthia.
She wants to send you a special message, I think.
I love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Kisses to Cynthia.
Yeah, I love her too.
Yeah.
So yeah, your message, and sometimes, a lot of people can get out and talk about certain things,
Yeah.
but you really, by talking about beauty, you really make people stop and take notice, because
Thank you.
you are beautiful, and you're brave.
Thank
And
you.
like you said, everybody has something. I could be insecure about my eyes, or
Sure.
insecure about my hair. My bangs are always curled. I'll tell you something funny. Every single time I leave my house to come here, my
Yeah.
bangs are perfect. I get here, my bangs are never perfect. And I just they're curling, they're always a mess. But something, it's kind of like, who cares?
Right.
You
Right,
know?
right.
You know,
In the big scheme of things, you know what I mean? Everybody has something. Even the person that we may perceive as the most beautiful woman, she's so gorgeous, or, whoever you can think of, celebrity, Holly Berry, whoever, And you speak to that woman and she'll have her own list of things she'd like to change about herself. We're just never satisfied.
No, no. So you really, I mean, we can't talk about this. Not just you, I
Yeah.
mean, but we cannot talk about this enough.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You
It's a
know,
big deal. It's something that, is especially important to me when it comes to young women. I think that as the older generation, we have to really work on that because it's not just us, it's far reaching because we are the examples for the younger generation.
right.
And so we have to live our song and we have to show them and exemplify to these younger women what does it really look like.
Mm-hmm. Whoops. I think she froze again. Are you there? Okay. And okay, she'll be back. She'll keep coming back. I know she will. And her message is very clear because young girls need to have a role model of somebody that they can look up to, look over to talk to acknowledge about where they are because it's a scary thing, and a young girl, like she was, it's a very scary thing when you don't know what's happening and what to expect, and and it's only happening to you and maybe nobody else that you even thought about. And I was having a thought while she was talking about men, because a lot of times, and I was thinking of this and I caught myself, a lot of times you would think, well, men are more accustomed to being bald, or the world is more accustomed to seeing men bald. But if a man wants hair and can't have any, that's got to be a pretty frustrating thing. So I think it's all relative in how we approach it. Um, Diana on the chat says, Sandra, and I'll repeat this, my daughter lost some hair and her eyelashes and eyebrows from a recent chemo treatment. Okay, well, we're going to ask that to Sandra when she comes back because Diana has a question, and that's a good one. How can I assure her that she is very beautiful just the way she is? As soon as Sandra comes back, we're going to ask her that question because only she can. Okay, you're there, right? You can hear me?
Sorry, Time Warner Cable. 3 words. Time Warner Cable.
Yeah, we don't need to. Yeah, we got it. We know. It's happened here, but you're
Sorry.
back. So, I was saying when you were leaving how sometimes you were talking about young girls and how important it is that young girls have somebody so beautiful like you inside.
Oh, thank you.
To be able to love them through what they might be going through because it could be so scary, and
Right.
how in some cases we men are accepted to be bald. We
Right.
look at men and we think we might not notice that they might not have eyelashes or eyebrows, but
Right.
we accept the fact that men are bald. However, if you're a man and you want hair and you can't have any, it's got to be pretty frustrating,
Yes.
right? So we want to consider that. Now, Sandra, on our chat, Diana, she said, my daughter lost some hair and her eyelashes and eyebrows from her recent chemo treatment. How can
Yeah.
I assure her that she is very beautiful just the way she is?
Yeah, you know what? The one thing that I say about self-esteem is that you can tell someone they're beautiful all day long, but it's really the bottom line is how you feel about yourself. And so when it comes to things like that, it's about learning how to make yourself feel beautiful in your own skin. And nobody can give that to you. You have people that support you and affirm you, but it's also giving that person, give her the tools to be able to learn how to make it work. So, when I lost my eyebrows and my eyelashes, it was really up to me to learn how to do my eye makeup, how to work with what I have. You can't fix it. You can't change it. It's like you got to accept the things that you cannot change, but you work with what you've got. So you get more information. So I would spend time learning, makeup tricks, learning how to draw the eyebrows on, how to, glue on eyelash strips, whatever it takes, whatever is comfortable for me to feel better about this situation so that when I go outside, I'm feeling as comfortable and as confident as I can. So it's really about affirming her, letting her know that it's okay, and then teaching her ways. Thank God for makeup. Especially as women. Now, men, they don't have that option, but as women, we can enhance, we can make it work. And it's really learning how to make it work for you. That if you want to go without the eye makeup, fine. But if you want to, as a young girl, you have that choice of how to apply it, finding the right products that work for you, and then you feel empowered. Like, so what? I don't have any eyebrows. When I'm ready to draw them on and put on my eyelashes, I can hang with just with any other woman. It's managing your disease, and everybody has to learn how to do that in a way that makes them feel comfortable when they go outside and present themselves to the world.
So let me ask you something. Were you always a powerful woman even when you were younger, before you lost your hair?
No.
Say that. You said no?
No.
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 Really?
Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes
Okay.
and no. So it's like everything you need, you have inside. So I didn't just like emerge one day and become strong or powerful or whatever, however people perceive me to be. I've had my share of life experiences that I share in the book that have helped me to grow. But yes, I suffered with low self-esteem ever since I was a young girl. And so it's always been a battle for me and an area where I had to grow and grow and grow. And having the alopecia experience was just another opportunity for me to have a challenge, which caused me to grow even more. But it wasn't something that I just kind of was born with this self-assured, absolutely not. It was the total opposite. And it took me a long time and a lot of different experiences for me to get to a place where I can stand in the truth of who I am in the face of disease or what have you, and be absolutely certain that I am all the way me, and I'm very clear about who that is as a child of God. And no matter what is happening on the outside, I'm still me, and I like who that is. I got to a place where I really like who that is. So I won't let those things steal my joy for too long anyway. I mean, initially you're going to be impacted by it, but you come back to center, if you will, really get to a place where you say, wait a minute, you're not going to steal my joy. I'm still Sandra at the end of the day.
Okay. So back then, what broke you free?
What broke me free?
Back then, what made the difference? I mean, did you just all of a sudden, when you lost your hair, said, "Okay, I'm strong," or what happened?
No, no, no. It was a process. It
Okay.
was, I started developing alopecia when I was 25 years old, but I didn't go outside bald until 8 years later.
Wow.
I was like hiding under my wig, and it was a secret for me as well. And, I told my closest friends, the people that I wanted to share it with, but ultimately it took me a while to really get comfortable in my skin. It took me, you know, um, I had to get to a place where it was all a growth experience, year by year by year, just getting a little bit more comfortable. I mean, at first, I spent a lot of energy just waiting for my hair to grow back. I didn't even accept that this was a permanent situation kind of deal. I was just like, okay, well, I'm just going to pray and wait for my hair to grow back. And then when my hair grows back, then I'm going to be happy. And then I'm going to be pretty again. And then, then I'll really feel good about myself. And so I spent some years living with that and just kind of covering up, putting on my wig. But underneath, that was really my mindset. And then it wasn't until 2008 that I really said, okay, wait a second, time out. What if my hair never grows back? So if I'm waiting to be happy until my hair grows back, I might be screwed, because then that means that I may never be happy if I wait. So I'm going to really have to get to a place where I say, you know what, I'm taking this wig off and I'm going to be happy today, because I can't wait that long anymore. Let's just make it work with what we've got. And so it was always just stages. So I always say to every woman, please don't look at me and think that, I've got some kind of special cape or some kind of magic. No, I was on the floor. I had to pick myself up, so be gentle with yourself, because everybody's process is different, and just take it bit by bit. You don't have to see me and then feel compelled to go outside and rip your wig off tomorrow and show yourself to the world. no, if that's not how it works for you, then that's not how you need to do it. You do what's comfortable for you, what's true for you, and just be gentle with yourself.
Yeah, and I think that's wonderful advice about being free from anything or being
Yeah,
free with something. You know,
right.
and it's about being kind to yourself and gentle and realizing that it is a process that, it's like, I mean, people don't gain, 20 pounds in one night. They ain't going to lose
Right.
it. You
Absolutely. I
know,
know I didn't.
yeah, me either.
Okay.
But the
Yeah,
process, we overlook the journey for
right.
the results sometimes. And it's
Absolutely.
really the process, and it's you're connecting with people in Walmart that is the juicy thing, isn't it?
Totally. Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. And it's all important. It's all relevant. It goes back to that quote where they talk about, it's not the destination, it's about the journey. And it really is. It's about who you're becoming in the process. And little by little, just enjoying even the small success. One day, it's like I went outside bald for the first time in 2008. I did it that one day, put my wig back on, and it took me a little while before I got up the nerve to do it again. So it wasn't just like an overnight success. It was just like, okay, all right, I think I've got up the nerve again. This time I'm going to go out and go to this place or to that place. It's whatever it was for me until I could really get comfortable. And that's
Right.
just what it is. But every day that I came home and that was something that was a challenge for me, and I felt like I met that personal challenge, it just made me stronger. And that is how you build self-esteem. It's one step at a time. It's one victory at a time. Because then you come back and you say, I did it. And it's those moments of I did it that give you that confirmation to let you know I can do it again. I can
Uh,
do this.
Cynthia, when you were talking about going out and going a little here and going a little there,
Hmm.
and she was saying that it's easy for you, Sandra. You have a perfectly round, lovely head.
Cynthia, please. It's such a misconception. I mean, people, it's all how you feel about yourself. Because thank you, first of all. Yes, I have a pretty decent head, but I do have. It takes more work. I have another condition called CCCA, which is another skin disorder, which actually gives me a rash on my scalp, if you will. It's another form of hair loss. So I have a couple of different things going on. And so there's like discoloration on my scalp. So in order for me to go out, I have to I put makeup, and it's a whole process. So it's not as easy as it seems, but I am grateful that I do have a decent shaped head. I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, I mean, well, that's the point is with everything, we all have a gift,
Yeah,
right? And so it's about recognizing what that is.
right.
I mean, I always said, well, I have, heavy hips and, a big butt, but I have a small waist. And I've always, really been appreciative of my small waist.
I
You know,
wish I had a small waist.
yeah, well, you know,
Why?
I got a small waist, you got a perfectly round head.
There you go.
So is this awareness what you do full time?
Yeah, well, I am a motivational speaker and I'm also a singer. And so now, yes, this is my full-time business through Dubose Entertainment, to bring awareness, but more than just awareness of alopecia, it's really about the topic itself of self-esteem. Going into this journey of being an advocate for alopecia awareness has really brought me into a whole nother path of really tapping into the topic and helping women no matter what your situation is, whether it's hair loss, whether it's no disease at all. It's all about how you feel about yourself and building your self-esteem. And that's a universal message. And so that's really what my true message is about, building healthy self-esteem. And it's about overcoming emotional issues and really exploring the topic of self-esteem, of why we feel the way we feel about ourselves, getting underneath that, healing, changing our mindset, changing our thought patterns that may not honor us anymore, to get to a place where we really begin to feel free, we really love ourselves, we really have joy, we really have peace. and positioning ourselves so that we can have the type of life that we really desire.
Yeah, and I have to say, I don't know if we have to spend any more time wondering why. I think your message is it doesn't matter why, just go forward. You know what I mean? We
Say
don't
that
eat.
again.
Okay, I don't think we need to spend time trying to figure out where our self esteem is or why we don't have any. I think
Okay.
the message for you, because you are so, you're the gift from God, that it's
Oh,
about look at me and let's go forward. You
yeah.
know, it's not about why we don't, it's about how do we.
How do we?
How do
Absolutely.
we? And Chris wrote on here, and I want to ask you about this. She said that on your website that you don't need a cosigner when it comes to living your life.
Yeah.
Can you explain that?
Yes, yes, I can. It's that's part of what I'm talking about in my book when it's talking about defining the principle five. I'm talking about defining success for yourself, and it really comes to the understanding that life is a very personal journey. And sometimes we spend too much energy being so concerned about what everybody else is thinking and trying to get everybody else's approval on the things that may be very personal for us. So, for example, when I decided that I wanted to do a documentary film about my alopecia experience, I can't say as supportive and wonderful as my family is, they didn't understand why that was so important. So it was just like, oh, well, it's really great that you feel good about yourself and now you're like going out without your wig sometimes. That's cute. But we don't really get why you feel like you need to make a documentary and write music about it and, make something for the whole world to see. And if I waited for them to co sign and say, oh, yes, Sandra, we agree, you should do that, then, I'd be waiting a long time to do a whole lot of things. So, you know what I mean?
I do know, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, I do. I know
So,
exactly.
so you have to learn how to listen to your own voice. What is your passion? What do you know that you're supposed to be doing? And if that means, it's wonderful if you can get a cheering section, that's fantastic. But if you cannot get a cheering section, then you don't let your decision be predicated upon the of whether or not everybody's going to stand up and cheer for you. You have to know that you know that you know that there's a reason and a purpose that you're doing what you're doing, and just trust it. And sometimes it's not until after it manifests. And that's what a visionary is. Everybody can't see what you see, but you just trust that instinct, your intuition, that God within speaking to you. This is something you're supposed to be doing. And you let that be enough. You trust it, you go with it. And as it manifests, all of those people that were just so confused will be the same ones that turn around and now they're your cheering section. Oh, we see that now. Oh, that's such a great idea. You think?
Yeah, I mean, totally. I mean, I'm listening, I'm reading some of the stuff on the chat, and Diana says, "Yeah, yay for all of us who are not waiting for anyone else to validate us and are calling to serve."
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? And even the people that love you, it's their best intentions. They will tell you it's not that they are necessarily even trying to be haters, but sometimes they can't see vision. And they may be fearful in their own lives. So
Right.
one of the things that I talk about in the book is that it's an unrealistic expectation to expect other people to speak into your life and free you up when they're not free themselves. So how can they
Exactly.
give you confidence when they're living in a life where they're still fearful and they wouldn't dare do those things in their own lives? So how can they speak that for you? So when you're looking for validation, if there's something you want to do, then you really want to go and you want to get some wisdom and some input from someone who is living the life that you're actually trying to live. And you say, well, how did you do that? Now you talk to me, but don't get your answers from people that have the same situation that you have. They don't know the answer, because if they did, they wouldn't be in your situation.
Yeah, you're right, and you're gonna get exactly what they're getting.
That's exactly right. So you have to be mindful of that. They love
Right.
you, but
Right.
you can't take me further than you've gone in your own life.
Right. And the validation will come from doing it.
Absolutely. The
You
more
know.
you do it,
Yes.
and sometimes you're the one. I've learned that in my life, that I've had to be the one that helps other people increase their faith. because when I came to them, they didn't see it. As I went forward anyway, and it manifested, and then it blessed their lives because then they turned around and said, wow, that surprised me. Now I believe. Now I can really see that these things can happen, and they can turnkey that in their own lives and feel motivated to say, I'm going to go do some stuff now. So
Right.
sometimes you're just the chosen one. So don't
Right.
look for everybody to, pat you on the back. Just do what you know you're supposed to be
Right,
doing.
and I mean, the previous show we had this woman on, Sherry Wilkolowski, and she was talking about how there's a book in everyone, and
Yes,
I believe that there, in most cases, there is positive in everyone, and that
sure.
there is hope in everyone. I mean, I really believe that, but I also believe that it takes somebody like you to go out there to give people hope for their hope.
Yeah.
You know,
Hope, hope. I like that.
I mean, people need to do that. I mean, and as I would say, as powerful as I believe I am, I
Mhm.
also need to be reminded by people like you,
You're welcome.
who kind of help me get grounded, put me in my place, let me keep, keep, because you have so many marvelous things going on, and you
Thank
do
you.
it I mean, it, and it's, we all need
Yes.
people like you, and, we need several people.
Absolutely. You know what? I think that, the saying goes that iron sharpens iron. And I think that it's important that we surround ourselves. It goes back to just surrounding yourself with those people that affirm you, those like minded, like spirited individuals that can really help you see the best in yourself and that you can really speak life into one another. So
Hmm.
it's just, really surrounding yourself with that energy. And that energy, I meet people like that all the time. It's like it attracts, it's a magnet. And so there's so many of us out there, and everybody will be that person for someone else. You know what I'm
Absolutely,
saying?
yeah,
So
yeah,
you bring your light, and then we just all together illuminate the world in our own way.
yeah. I mean, you got me there. So I know that you're a singer.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
do you sing with music or without music?
Both.
Both? Could you sing a couple of lines for us?
Sure, I can sing something.
Go ahead.
Um, let's see. I'm beautiful inside and out. This is my truth. Marilyn, you're beautiful. With your curly bangs, oh girl, you're breaking free. Oh.
Oh, that was like right on the spot. That was great.
Praise.
Oh, that was marvelous. Oh my
Cool.
God, that was great. So you write your own music, obviously, because you did a great job right there on the spot.
Right on the spot, right on the spot. Yeah, I do. I've been writing ever since I was 14 years old. Just that was, my first writing experience was writing songs and just expressing how I felt, which is really what it's all about. And yes, I've been writing for quite a while. It's a definite passion of mine and something that I want to continue to expand and do more of.
Expanded and how?
Expanding meaning that I would love to be able to have a record deal one day as a singer. I would love to be able to write Grammy award winning songs. There's a whole nother level of my career in the music industry that I'm really waiting for the opportunity to pursue that and really maximize that part of it. So yeah.
So that's what's next for you.
Yeah, that's what's always for me. I mean, I
Always.
can do a whole bunch of different things, but all day long, I'm a singer all day, and that's always going to be the my staple because it's my medicine. It's the thing that keeps me going. It's my ultimate passion, and it's the most sincerest way that I can express myself, and that's through sharing my heart song through my lyrics and through my voice. That's number one.
So so what do you do? What are you doing to get yourself that record deal?
Well, right now the focus is not so much on the record deal because sometimes I just feel like those things are all a matter of timing, and it's just a seasonal kind of what's necessary right now. And the way that my life journey, this adventure, and it really has been an adventure, has unfolded, and the way that it's manifesting is right. The right now need is for me to tell this story, to really bring awareness to alopecia, to help women who are dealing with low self-esteem. And so really the move is me as a speaker. And now out of that, the book has come, My Crown and Glory. It's not about the hair, and, gave me the opportunity to be an author, something I never thought I would do, but that was a wonderful challenge that presented itself. And, even underneath all of that, I'm doing those things as a speaker and going to schools and corporate events, et cetera, and sharing my story and sharing these tips and strategies to help other women. But, I was just singing at a gig on Saturday, singing some jazz. So, that's always, I'm always going to be singing somewhere because that's just what I do. And the opportunities to do that on a bigger scale um, they will arrive at the appointed time. And until then, I'm just going to enjoy the journey and do it because I love it.
It's interesting. I'm listening to you, and I really believe that you have acquired patience. Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because I'm an Aries woman, and my birthday's April 3rd, and patience is like the number one thing that I lack. So,
I had no idea.
no, I lack. That's the one thing that's a challenge for me in my personality. But yes, I have had to learn to acquire patience. So yes, I take that. But it's been a lesson. That's not something that's so innate for me. I've really had to work on being patient. Definitely.
But you've had to.
Had to. You don't have a choice.
You know, and part of your work in getting your message out there, and in the grace that you're doing it, has to have patience attached.
Absolutely. And it's understanding that it's not in my timing. It's not my timing. All I can do is plant the seeds, share my story, and do the work that was given to me to do, and everything else will manifest in its appointed time. Because we make plans for our life, and they don't always work out the way we thought. And so at some point, you just kind of let go and you let God, and you just say, okay, I'll do whatever you tell me to do. You
Right.
let me know when we get to the next corner if I'm supposed to turn right or turn left. Until then, I'll just do exactly what you're giving me to do in this moment, because that's all we've got. That's all we've got.
Right. You have to. I mean, you have to be able to do that to be able to do what you're doing. So,
Yeah.
so Cynthia wants to know, where did you sing on Saturday?
I was singing at a 25th wedding anniversary it was a private event at the Clayton Center, and it was a lot of fun. I was doing some jazz. I had a really great band put together, and we just kind of went out there and sang a couple of sets, and it was a lot of fun.
Chris wants to know, how do your children feel about your work, music, and outreach?
They love it. They love it. They have to, they know that their mom is not the typical mom. I'm like, show mom, I'm like singing in the house, and, they're just like, what a character, but ultimately, I take my children with me. I have two daughters, Maya and Elijah. My oldest is 14 and the baby is 10. And so they are part of my team. And so they hear all of this positive mumbo jumbo all the time. And sometimes they're like, oh, please already with all that. I love myself. Stop talking to me.
Well, they have a special mom, so they know it.
They do. They do. So they get to go, though, to different events where I can bring my children and be a part. And they get to meet amazing, wonderful people because I can't do it all. It takes a village. And so they can hear it from me, but they get an opportunity to meet some other people that really make them say, wow, that person's pretty awesome, because the message will come from many different people. So they're really, really blessed, and they're very excited. They're excited about the book. The book is dedicated to them. so they're like, I have to have the first copy, mother, because the book is for me and blah blah blah. So, they're enjoying the journey as well. But it does take some sacrifice when I have to, travel, or I'm working really hard and I can't give them all of the attention that I would want to. So they have to make those sacrifices of their mommy as well. Like, okay, yeah, yeah, we know you got to go do this, that kind of thing. So, but they're awesome. They keep me going.
Well, they're in it with you. They have ownership.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely, absolutely.
Chris says she loves how you talk about your children as your team. We define our own family as a team too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. And I need them. I need their energy. I need their support. And and their encouragement. That keeps me going and lets me know that I'm doing the right thing. I get sometimes I feel like, is this working? Am I making an impact? Am I making a difference? And sometimes they'll go with me to an event and we'll leave and pack up our stuff, and the baby will lean in and she'll say, "You did really good today, Mom. I almost shed a tear. That was pretty good. You sang that song, Mom."
Right. Right.
And that little vote of confidence, I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, that good job, Mom. Good job. And I need that too. I
Sure.
need that as well. And
Because they will tell you, Sandra, honey, I got
yeah,
myself a couple of daughters, and let me
uh-huh.
tell you, they
Oh yeah.
will tell you if it's
They
good, and they will tell you if it ain't.
they are brutally honest.
Yes,
They tell
they
me
are.
a lot. If I crack a note, oh, they are my worst critic. As soon as we get in the car, everybody else could be complimenting me, but as soon as we get in the car, they're gonna say, "I heard you missed that note, and you messed up the words on that line." I'm
Right.
like, guys,
Right.
give me a break here.
Yeah, they'll lay it in hard. But I have one more question. I know we're almost to the end, but
Okay.
so do they have any fear about losing their hair?
You know what? They are conscious of it, and I think that it would be. They don't have any fear that's like that they're really so worried about it on the forefront of their mind, but they're conscious of that autoimmune issues run in our family. And at the end of the day, they know that if it did happen to them, that they can handle it because of the way that I've handled it. So they don't stress about it, but they are aware. And of course, it is a concern. But, as is for anybody, it's a concern for my sister. It's a concern,
Right.
it's just kind of like, that's scary. If you know that autoimmune issues are in your family, nobody's exempt from disease.
Right.
There's nothing that I did to get this. There's no rhyme or reason.
Right.
It is what it is. It's the luck of the draw.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're all in the same boat together.
Absolutely. So I want to
Yeah.
ask you a question.
Okay.
Anthony says, "That's my queen." Now, who is Anthony?
I can't tell you. I'm just playing.
Is
No,
he
no,
your king?
He is my king.
All
He
right.
is my king.
That's good. All right, Anthony, it's a pleasure to meet you, Anthony. Any man that is Sandra's king's got to be quite the guy.
Anthony Van is an amazing, wonderful person. He is the executive director of Noyer Productions, which is the pageant organization that I represent as 2011 Mrs. Black North Carolina. And he is a mentor. He is my friend, and he's a wonderful part of my support team. So yes, he is my king. I am forever his queen.
And husband, Cynthia wants to know.
No, he's not my husband. He's
Okay.
not my husband. He's just my friend king.
He's your friend king. Okay,
Yeah,
well that works. That
Yeah.
works. I got my kings and I got my queens.
There you go.
Terrific.
There you go.
Wonderful. Well, I got some stuff started. Yes, you did. You did. Thank you for coming on. Better late than never. Sandra, you are an absolute joy to get to know, and I know that our paths are going to cross more and more and more because, I too
Absolutely.
want to be surrounded with your energy. So
We do.
tell people where they can find you, what they'll find when they find you,
Yeah,
what you
please.
want.
Okay, well, I would love for everyone to stay connected with me. You can go to my website to get more information about what I do as a speaker and as a singer. You can go to Sandra Dubose, that's Sandra DUBOSE.com, and you'll find out more information there. You can always follow me on Twitter at Sandra DeBose, and I want you to look out for my book that's coming out. It's called My Crown and Glory. It's not about the hair. 6 fundamental principles to heal emotional wounds and build healthy self-esteem. It will be available on Amazon.com on Saturday, September 1st, as we kick off Alopecia Awareness Month with a free concert at Hope Cafe, 7:30 p.m. All that information is on my website, so please check it out. Stay connected. And Marilyn, thank you so much for allowing me to break free with you this evening.
Thank you so much. Likewise, because I've broken free more. And that's the idea, ain't it?
Never too much. Never too much.
Freedom? Are you kidding? Can't be too much.
That's right.
At least maybe for other people, not for us.
That's right.
So I want to
Right.
thank you. You are magnificent, and I appreciate so much your being here and lighting up our internet. And I wish you great success in your message and in everything that you do, because I know whatever you have to say needs to be said.
Thank you. Same here. Same to you.
Thanks.
Same to you.
I appreciate it, and I'd love to connect with you more. And it's wonderful. So thank you for being here, and all of you out there. Thanks for sharing this night with us, and Sandra's message, and take her message and take it to heart. And do something with it, because we all really have to feel our beautiness. And so thank you so
work.
much. Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
you.
We love you.
Thanks,
And
Marilyn. Bye, guys.
thanks. Bye, everyone. And we'll see you all next week. And take care and have a fabulously beautiful week. Bye-bye.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, Sundays 9 a.m. to noon. Health In with Debbie Bruck, Mondays 11 a.m. till noon. The Scope of Things with Marilyn Shannon, Mondays 7 to 8 p.m. Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Mondays 8 to 9 p.m. Reawaken Your Brilliance with Julie Seibert, Wednesdays 8 to 9 p.m. And if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it at www.nissancommunications.com.